Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. The search for a missing teenager from Tulita, Northwest Territories is over. Friends and family say 16-year-old River Clement's body was found Thursday evening. The CBC's Leanie Lambrink has more.
A tragic end to a week-long search. River Clement's aunt, Linda McCauley, shared the update on Facebook last night. She said the teenager had been found, recovered, and the family was broken. Clement had last been seen early last Friday morning. RCMP said a few hours later, clothing and a cell phone believed to belong to him were found in a boat drifting on the Mackenzie River. Toledo Mayor Doug Yalley says his community still has questions about what happened. He says RCMP are still investigating and they're planning for an autopsy. Clement's disappearance and death has rocked his community, but Yalley says it's been good to see all the support pouring in from around the territory. He says funeral arrangements likely won't be made until the autopsy is done. Leanie Lambrink, CBC News, Yellowknife.
RCMPs say his body was found on the Mackenzie River between Tulita and Norman Wells near Prohibition Creek. In Nunavut, the Canadian Red Cross is providing support in Pond Inlet ahead of the start of the school year. It comes in response to recent tragedies in the community. In a Facebook post, Ulayuk Elementary School says the aid group has been formally activated. Nunavut's coroner is investigating 3 deaths in the community in July. One included a teenage boy, according to a relative who spoke to the CBC. The Red Cross is hosting a community open house on Sunday afternoon. Residents can hear more about the services being provided. The family of a man who died in a car accident in the Yukon last year is now suing the driver in the territory's Supreme Court. The accident happened near the Luz River Bridge south of Whitehorse. As Gabrielle Planca reports, the lawsuit claims the driver and vehicle's owner were both negligent.
The lawsuit blames Seth Jorgensen for driving off the road and into the river here last year. It alleges that Jorgensen drove too fast, didn't use the brakes adequately, and generally failed to keep the vehicle under control. The lawsuit was filed by the family of Jorgensen's passenger, Nate Ostenso, who did not survive the accident. His wife, mother, and 2 children say they suffered financial damages from his death, including the loss of Ostenso's income. The lawsuit also alleges the vehicle was not maintained. It claims the steering, brakes, lights, and tires were all inadequate. It also lists the owner of the truck, who was not present at the time of the crash, as a second defendant. Statements of defense have not been filed yet, and none of these claims have been tested in court. Gabrielle Planca, CBC News, Whitehorse.
The principal of Fort Simpson's elementary school says he's returning for the school year, even though the local District Education Authority, or DEA, has called for his removal. However it works out, some in the community welcome the return of Principal Ben Adams. Luke Carroll has that story. Kate, we have some technical difficulties. We will bring you that story as soon as we can. We'll move on to another story right now. A church picnic ended in tragedy on Thursday night at Long Lake in Yellowknife after a man fell off a paddleboard and drowned. RCMP say the victim was a 32-year-old man who was recovered from the water by the fire department. Life-saving efforts immediately began, but were unsuccessful. The man worked for the Holy Trinity Anglican Church as a youth counselor. The church was hosting an end-of-summer gathering at Fred Henney Park.
He was out on a paddleboard and unfortunately was not wearing a life jacket and went under the water. And there were efforts by those who were there to go out and find him, but that was not successful. And then the Yellowknife Fire Department was able to find him and to recover his body last night.
Pryor says life jackets were available at the event. The church is bringing in grief counselors to support the congregation and people who were there on Thursday night. They're still notifying some members of the victim's family. RCMP are investigating the drowning in partnership with the coroner's office.
As I looked upon the battlefield in front of me, a German star shell lit up the desolate landscape. I watched as a bullet smashed through the bridge of my nose and left me to the mercy of the darkness. I worried I would be dependent on others for the rest of my life. But Sir Arthur Pearson and the staff of St. Dunstan's had other plans. With their help, I knew I could be self-reliant, and I wanted to bring this idea home to Canada. I wanted Canadians to know that we could hold jobs, that we could contribute, that regardless of sight, all would read, that we, the blind, would shape our own lives, our own destiny.
Blinded by a sniper's bullet in 1915, Edwin A. Baker went on to co-found the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, shaping a path forward for the blind across Canada for generations to come.
Want to get the most out of CBC News? Use the app or cbcnews.ca for live breaking news on the stories that matter to you. Whether it's local, national, or around the world, turn to CBC News.
As I looked upon the battlefield in front of me, a German star shell lit up the desolate landscape. I watched as a bullet smashed through the bridge of my nose and left me to the mercy of the darkness. I worried I would be dependent on others for the rest of my life. But Sir Arthur Pearson and the staff of St. Dunstan's had other plans. With their help, I knew I could be self-reliant, and I wanted to bring this idea home to Canada. I wanted Canadians to know that we could hold jobs, that we could contribute, that regardless of sight, all would read, that we, the blind, would shape our own lives, our own destiny.
Blinded by a sniper's bullet in 1915, Edwin A. Baker went on to co-found the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, shaping a path forward for the blind across Canada for generations to come.
Back to the story we told you about earlier, where the principal of Fort Simpson's elementary school says he is returning for the school year, even though the local District Education Authority, or DEA, has called for his removal. However it works out, some in the community welcome the return of Principal Ben Adams. Luke Carroll has that story.
In June, some parents and DEA members in Fort Simpson blamed Adams and a district superintendent for an alleged lack of communication, unreliability, and what they say is an unhealthy school environment. In response, the Minister of Education launched multiple investigations, but some parents are now speaking out in support of Adams' return. Shannon Kazon credits Adams with helping her and her daughter through a traumatic experience that happened at the school 2 years ago.
Took a lot of effort to even get her through those front doors, to even be excited for school again. It took so much effort from our family. Only 2 teachers out of that entire school supported our family and really made an effort to create that bond with my daughter. And Ben was one of them.
Kazon says she understands the concerns raised by the DEA and the parents in town, but says they should work with him. Bernice Gargan is a retired teacher. She worked with Adams at the school.
Ben has a big heart, and people don't see that. I work with him every day. I know what kind of a person he is.
The Department of Education says the investigation is not yet complete. Luke Carroll, CBC News, Yellowknife.
The NWT government is planning to subsidize residential power bills again. The Northwest Territories Power Corporation wants to raise rates. It's been going back and forth for months with the territory's energy regulator as residents wait for a decision. This isn't the first time this has happened, and one Yellowknife MLA thinks the territory needs a new strategy. Jocelyn Chappelle explains.
The government of the Northwest Territories is taking control of handing out subsidies for power rate increases. The details of what that will look like are still unclear at the moment. The GNWT Department of Finance says it's working closely with NTPC on the development of the subsidy program, and that final decisions with respect to its structure and the timing of implementation will be communicated after the regulatory process is complete. That means the eventual subsidies will depend on the final NTPC rate decision, which is expected later this fall. In the past 10 years, the GNWT has paid more than $80 million in subsidies to the Power Corporation, including $20 million in 2014, $30 million in 2015, $15 million in 2023, and $30 million in 2024 and 2025. Shauna Morgan is the MLA for Yellowknife North. She says the current cycle of subsidies can only continue for so long, and that she'd like to see more urgency towards a concrete solution.
So really we have to work together to try to understand the different factors at play here. And to some extent, that's what has been missing. We have been caught up year after year in really short-term thinking, really stopgap measures, and we have been continually kicking the can down the road.
The Power Corporation's reliance on diesel generators is a large part of the need for subsidies. NTPC has full reliance on diesel for backup generation in all communities it serves.
You know, we've got massive cost overruns, lasted much longer than expected. So, you know, the hydro system down and burning diesel, and, you know, that's just sort of one small taste of what we're dealing with our aging infrastructure overall in our power system.
Morgan says although direction was given to the Public Utilities Board this year to integrate more renewable energy into the grid, it could be years until policy and an integrated energy plan is completed. Jocelyn Chappelle, CBC News, Yellowknife.
The Yukon nominee program is accepting more applicants for its 2025 intake. Back in April, 215 nominee spots were allocated for the program through the federal government. Now, the Yukon government says it's received an additional 67 spots, bringing the total number to 282. But even with the increase, the Yukon government's director of immigration says it's much lower this year compared to previous months. When choosing a successful applicant, the territory says priority still goes to Yukon University graduates, as well as French-speaking candidates and people who have lived in the territory for a year. Applicants who have been selected will be notified in the next few weeks. NWT Fire is warning of critical fire danger in the territory in several areas from Betchicon southward. It says there will be hot and dry conditions with strong winds over the next week. Alongside those conditions, there's been what it calls an uncharacteristic late-season lightning outbreak. NWT Fire says that lightning could lead to new fires in the Sahtu, North Slave, and South Slave regions. Here's what you can expect. NWT Fire says there could be more smoke in Wati, Betchicon, and Yellowknife. It's likely there will be reduced visibility around parts of Highway 3, especially from kilometer 140 to 165 and the Clichon Highway. There could also be visible fire and smoke from Highway 3 and Fort Providence, though NWT Fire says there's not an increasing threat to the community. Canada is changing tactics in its trade war with the United States. Prime Minister Mark Carney says that next month, Canada will remove all tariffs on goods from the United States that are covered by the CUSMA trade deal. He made the announcement following a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump. And as Olivia Stefanovich reports, the move is generating both praise and criticism.
A major strategy shift in the trade war with the U.S.
I'm announcing today that the Canadian government will now match the United States by removing all of Canada's tariffs on U.S. goods specifically covered under CUSMA.
The Prime Minister says 25% levies on American goods will be scrapped for those products that comply with the Canada-United States-Mexico agreement.
Part of this is getting to a better balance with the United States.
Mark Carney says U.S. President Donald Trump assured him in a phone call on Thursday the move will kickstart negotiations on a new trade deal between the two countries.
We are working on something. We want to be very good to Canada. I like Carney a lot. I think he's a good person.
Today we learned that it has been yet another capitulation and climb down by Mark Carney. His elbows have mysteriously gone missing.
The announcement may have scored favors with the White House, but Carney is facing heavy criticism from political opponents.
He promised he would have elbows up. He promised he could, quote, handle Trump, and that he would, quote, negotiate a win. Those are his promises, and he needs to be judged by his word.
Although most countermeasures will be lifted, Carney is making some exceptions. Tariffs will remain on U.S. steel, autos, and aluminum, industries hit hard by the president.
It is not necessary that Canada retains free trade with the United States. What is necessary is that it retains preferential access to the United States better than what everyone else has got.
Carney insists Canada has the best trade deal with the U.S. The Prime Minister says consultations on a new agreement will begin next month. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Ottawa.
An Ottawa man is working to help Inuit experiencing homelessness and addictions in the city. The CBC's Licia Naviapik has more on the type of work Ziggy is doing to help the community.
While working at a convenience store, Ziggy noticed some homeless people who would come in and steal items. Instead of shutting them out, he opened space where they could get together. Now him and a group of volunteers are working to do street outreach, providing things like food and clothing. Haley previously experienced homelessness himself and says he wants to give back. He says early in his time in Ottawa, he received a lot of kindness from Indigenous community members.
When I first came down here, the number one people that supported me was the Inuit community and the Indigenous community. So they understood what I was doing. They knew that I'm working at a convenience store. And when some people would say certain things to me or whatever, they stood up for me.
Him and his volunteers help distribute clothing twice a week. One of the volunteers is Myra Itcham. She lost 8 members of her family in an accident after they went on a hunting trip. She also says she's experienced homelessness and struggles with alcohol use. She met Ziggy in downtown Ottawa where he helped her. And now that she's on her feet, she wants to help others too.
So I tell some people my story, and if I could do it, if I can get off these streets, you can too.
As for Ziggy, he says that when you lift others up, they lift you up too. Licia Naviapik, CBC News, Ottawa.
A man who says he's trekked on foot across 8 countries has brought his journey of self-discovery to Iqaluit. Bhakti Margaswamy was born in Chatham, Ontario, and he's known as the Walking Monk. He says he's walked across countries like the USA, Trinidad, Mauritius, and he's done the length of Canada 4 times. He calls those journeys friend raisers. They're about connecting with nature, meeting new people, and sharing lessons of spirituality.
Because the biggest problem we all have in life, it's not bad weather, it's not even finances so much, it's the ego. It's not even birth and death and disease and old age. It's more about what are you going to do about your ego? What are you going to do to get yourself to a humble position where you feel you're really part of the greater world?
Well, in Iqaluit, he's been sharing stories from his Hindu faith and teaching Bhakti yoga. Like many Nunavut, Swami says it's important to connect with the land and traditional ways of life. The George Johnson Museum in Teslin, Yukon is celebrating its 50th anniversary over the weekend. A gathering on Saturday will include cultural demonstrations, dance performances, and traditional food. The CBC's Marissa Mayer visited the museum to learn more.
When the museum opened 50 years ago, the purpose was cultural preservation. Now, through these little bits of history, the museum teaches nearly 5,000 visitors about Tlingit culture and the history of Teslin every year.
So the museum started with a society in the late 60s because a man named Bonner Cooley and George Johnston noticed that a lot of the Tlingit heritage was being bought and then taken out of Teslin.
Johnston was a Tlingit man born in the late 1890s who witnessed Teslin's transformation as colonizers first arrived. At the age of 16, he paddled to Juneau to learn about his culture and returned with a camera that documented Teslin's history through the 20th century. Johnston also brought the first car to Teslin and built the community's first road to go with it. He also opened a general store that became a staple to people of all ages in Teslin.
He called everybody his grandchildren. Like we're all his grandchildren to him. Very, very pleasant man. And very helpful if he could help you. Like I said, I was just a young person when I knew him.
While the museum mostly sees tourists from all over the world, it's also a place for Teslin Tlingit people to connect with their ancestors and to share stories about those they knew.
Oh, it makes me feel good. Especially when you're there and there's people who can ask you and you can tell them a little bit, eh?
As part of the 50th anniversary celebrations, the museum also added this mural last month. This portrait of George Johnston was painted by artist Lance Burton alongside local youth and visitors.
And the thing I really like is it's really for the villagers. It's for the locals in that it's on our local road here. And so many people stop by every day to see the progress. So I think there's a lot of ownership there.
Admission to the museum will be free on Saturday to honor the celebration. Staff are hoping for a large gathering of locals from Teslin, visitors from across the Yukon, and travelers from far and wide. Marissa Mayer, CBC News, Teslin.
It was another tense day of northern competition at today's Canada Games in St. John's, Newfoundland. Team Nunavut defeated Team Northwest Territories for the second time.
And it drops, and victory will go to Nunavut.
The win will mean the team will play Nova Scotia on Saturday morning. That match starts at 10 a.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Also today, the women's game went to a fifth set with the NWT ultimately taking out the win against Nunavut. CBC News caught up with members of Team Nunavut's men's volleyball team after their win against the NWT on Thursday, and one player has a message for Nunavut.
Do what you love to do and keep dreaming big. You have so much potential.
Today in wrestling, both of Nunavut's men's and women's teams won their matches against the Yukon. This means Nunavut finished in 11th place ahead of the Yukon in the final standings. The individual wrestling competitions take place tomorrow, and you can watch all the events at the games live on CBC Sports' YouTube page and on CBC Gem. The Canada Games are wrapping up this weekend. Athletes and their coaches will fly home and bring what they learned back with them. For two Team NT coaches, it's been a lot of learning thanks to an apprenticeship program. Sarah St. Pierre reports.
Oh, a nice finger roll there and a roll for a basket.
Team NT's female basketball players mostly came from one Yellowknife team. And one of their coaches wanted to support them at the Canada Games, so she applied for an apprenticeship program.
Honestly, I wanted to be able to go and support the girls that I've coached in the past. Like, it was really cool to get to see these young girls now getting to represent Team Northwest Territories. For some of them, it was their first games, first time putting on the NT jersey. It was really cool to be able to see that in person, and that was the greatest motivator in applying.
Not all coaches are eligible to coach at the Canada Games. There are requirements like certifications and experience. The Women in Coaching Canada Games Apprenticeship Program sidesteps them to expose more women to high-level coaching. The program is run by the Coaching Association of Canada. It opens up 2 assistant coach positions for women in every province and territory. One of the assistant coaches for men's volleyball is the other apprentice for the NWT. She's been coaching volleyball in Hay River for years.
it's hard when you're in a small community and you're the only coach for a long time. To have someone mentor you who has seen other things and done other things has been great. And it's definitely changed the way I'm gonna make changes as I go forward in my career.
Over a year leading up to the games, the program offered workshops, mentorship, and networking.
Having stuff like this has been obviously great, but that it's going to help us make volleyball better in the North. It's going to help us make all of our sports better in the North. And we can get better the more chances we have like this.
Most alums from the program keep coaching. Either they return to big events like Canada Games, or they keep coaching at home.
Oh, there you go. Great defensive play by the Northwest Territories.
Sarah Saint-Pierre, CBC News, Yellowknife.
In the Yukon, the grand opening for the new gymnastics and climbing gym is almost upon the residents of Whitehorse. The CBC's Isabella Calisi headed down to a ceremonial swapping of the keys earlier this week and got a good look at the inside of the new facility.
Congratulations.
This space has been in the works for the last 10 years and has cost the Yukon government over $30 million to create. For the Polarette's gymnastics team, this is a huge upgrade to the space they currently have.
We're very excited now to, with the support of Lotteries Yukon and the Community Development Fund, purchase real parkour equipment that is really heavy and are going to be able to show the community what this sport really is all about and give them the opportunity to try. We also have 2 new trampolines, 2 new tumble tracks that are built into the ground, 3 floor surfaces, all new recreational gymnastics equipment, and men's artistic gymnastics training equipment coming into the new facility.
Polarette's has over 1,700 members with 400 kids on the wait list. The new building will also be hosting the Arctic Winter Games this upcoming March. And right here, under the same roof, the Yukon Climbing Collective is getting brand new walls for bouldering, as well as a kilter board and a rope climbing section. This is also quite an upgrade for the collective, as its current location is in a Whitehorse high school.
There will always be backyard walls and garage walls and walls in the high schools. They're really just critical. However, they're not always that accessible because you need to be really dedicated to climbing to seek those places out.
The official grand opening for the new facility will be on September 20th from 1 to 4 p.m. Isabel Calisi, CBC News, Whitehorse. And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a great weekend.